I was waiting for you to start. Hey everybody, it's your girl Miss Laganja Estranja
And Joseph Shepard.
and welcome back to another episode of Cleaning House. What is good?
What's good with you?
Oh, just feeling my black and white fantasy.
I feel like this hat is something that I would love.
It's so comfortable.
Do you like hats?
I do. I'm a bucket hat whore.
Look it up.
Bucket up. Yeah, my best friend is always like, can you please get another type of hat? Because I'm not even kidding you, I have a stack this high, like from the floor.
What do you like about bucket hats?
I don't know. There's something so like 90s about it. Like it's just such like a throwback vibe. And like, I just feel like it's so cute. It's like very perfect for going on a boat. It's very perfect for the winter. Like it is like a universal hat. Mm-hmm. No? You don't love a bucket hat?
I think I only like a snapback for me.
Okay.
Because like I feel like certain hats just don't work with certain people's faces.
I don't believe. Let's see. Try it on.
Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen
Let's
here?
just
I'm
see.
gonna look like I'm from like
See, you look so cute.
I look like a pilgrim.
No, you look like you're going to Salt Lake City to go skiing like as a rich gay. I love it.
Pilgrim.
I love it. Isn't it soft though?
It's so soft.
Yeah, I am obsessed.
So everything that's been going on with you, I would like to know, how is Dabbers?
Dabbers is so good. I mean, honestly, I just don't know what I do without her. She's such a little light and joy, and she brings me such happiness.
Do you travel with Dabbers?
I try to as much as I can, but honestly, especially when going international, it's very hard. Sometimes there's laws like in Hawaii, I could never bring her. So sometimes it's because of that I'm not able to. Sometimes it's that people won't pay for it, and a lot of times it's because I don't think she loves it. When she was
Really?
younger, she did. We took her to Italy, we took her to Germany, but I think now that she's 8 years old, she's got her whole system. She's happy at home. And so I feel like it's kind of a disservice to her to take her out of her, habitat and force her into the world. Like I've noticed when I would take her to hotels, like even to like a day trip to Santa Barbara, she doesn't eat. And so I can just tell, I think there's some anxiety there. So I'm really lucky that my dear friend Beanie takes care of her when I'm gone. And then, of course, she'll be staying with my mom and dad while I'm on my Asian tour. So, I'm lucky that I have people in my life that look after her and love her as if she was their own.
How did you get Dabbers?
So Dabbers came into my life. I was actually in Hawaii.
Okay.
And at the time, my best friend Kristen, who was managing me, her brother Ross was working at a sushi place here in LA. And one of his coworkers was trying to find a home for puppies that their dog had had. And so Ross sent Kristen and I a picture of Dabbers, and I fell in love. I'd been wanting a dog forever, and Kristen was like, no, we're not getting a dog. This is crazy. Kristen was not only my manager, but was living with me at the time. And she didn't grow up with dogs. So she was not really a dog person. She was a cat person. But when we got this picture of Dabbers, which back then just looked like a little puffball. I mean, she looked so freaking cute. It was me that time. It was so freaking cute. She was like, we need it. We need it. So the minute we got home from Hawaii, I went and interviewed with the dog owner at the time. And I could tell he was really sad to give her up. He did not want to give her up. But I basically promised him that she would have such a good life with me and that ultimately she would become a star. And she's well on her way. We're still under 10K. So if you're not following LILDABBERS on Instagram, go and give her a follow, because it is my dream to one day have at least 10K for her. Because JS, I won't say the name, but JS's dogs, all their Instagram had 100K. I mean, it was crazy. So I think Dabbers deserves that. She is such a special being. And ultimately for my mental health, she has kept me sane.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have pets?
No.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
When I was younger and I was growing up in Tennessee, my mom had a cat that she had before she met my dad.
Okay.
And its name was Mr. Kitty. Very original.
Love it.
Mr. Kitty was so scared of me when I was a baby. Mr. Kitty ended up dying, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want a cat. So my mom was like, all right, your grandmother found some cats on a farm. Like these people are selling cats. Like we're gonna, you can choose one. I chose one and I was so excited and I named her Missy. And I was like, this is the moment. And she would sleep right next to me on the side of my bed, like on the pillow. And then after about 2 weeks, I couldn't breathe.
Because you were allergic? I'm allergic to cats too.
I literally could not breathe. My mom was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Ended up taking me to the emergency room, ended up being diagnosed with asthma, being allergic to cats, dogs, every type of tree in the world. And then from that moment,
let's just face it, Joseph. You're allergic to pussy.
Pussy. I am allergic to pussy. But I was very depressed because it was like, this was my cat and I was so excited. And so we basically, the doctor was like, you need to get rid of it. And I was like, no. And so we did keep the cat, but it had very strict rules and I did feel bad.
I'm sorry. Y'all can get mad at me all you want in the comments. I don't get cats. I don't get them. I don't get anybody who wants to keep an animal who's going to shit in a box and you got to change it and gross.
What if
They've got claws. They're mean. They don't want to greet you when you come home. I'm such a dog person. I just don't get it.
What if the cat shits in the toilet?
And okay, so see, here's the thing. Dabbers hates dogs, but loves kitties. So there was a time when Kristen, my manager from the past, was wanting to get her own cat. And I was super down, A, because Kristen was going to take care of the cat. And B, because that was the idea, was to train the cat to use the toilet like in Meet the Fockers, which is a very much real thing. Now, it is hard to do. And you have to use these special rings. And I mean, we looked into it. Like, we were serious. So if I had someone with the time to do that, and if I could get the shot that helps you be not allergic to them, and if the cat would be nice, and if the cat would not go outside and try to leave, right? Then I would entertain the idea. But ultimately, it's a hard pass for me.
I think there's only one type of cat that I can have, and it starts with the M, but I don't really know what the full name is.
Madagascar.
That sounds nice, but I think it's like a
Corona.
cat, non-allergic cat.
Oh, I do love the hairless cats, like from Austin Powers.
Me.
They're so cute.
Oh, they scare me.
No, I love them. I want one of those actually.
I also don't believe...
I want that one, and I want it to be potty trained, and I'm down.
Okay.
That I'm down, because I hear they're actually normally nice.
Yeah, they are normally nice.
Yeah.
I will say that my first boyfriend I had a hypoallergenic dog, and it was a doodle, and it was not hypoallergenic.
I know.
I turned into like puff, 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 pass me around.
Right.
It was bad.
Yeah.
But
we do know you love to be passed around.
Just like that lovely blunt rotation.
Okay.
Well, let's get into our topic today.
Okay.
I want to talk about some nostalgia with you.
Ooh, we're going to queen out on some nostalgia.
Yeah, some 90s nostalgia.
Oh, perfect. See, just like my hat today.
Yeah, just like your hat today.
Love that.
Okay. 1990, let's say, what year do you remember the most in the 90s? Is there like I mean, of course you remember towards the later years.
Now, Joseph.
Same.
If there's one thing you know about me, you know I don't remember shit. I'm not good with remembering things.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I can say, if I had to like pick out like top ultimate 90s moment for me, it's the movies. So like First Wives Club, The River Wilds, like Bring It On, although Bring It On might have been early 2000s. But yeah, like I remember the movies of the 90s and like intros being 4 and 5 minutes long. Yeah. That's what sticks out to me. Okay. What about you? Oh, and plaid. Like I feel like plaid, thin eyebrows, Gwen Stefani, no doubt. Like that's when I think of 90s, like that's like I guess what immediately comes to mind.
I remember very certain things about the 90s.
Okay, like?
So, like, I remember that my mom loved the Titanic, but she would not let me.
Was that movie in now? And
I think it was like 97.
90s? Okay.
And I remember she bought the VHS that was the two
tape.
Yep.
And came with the Heart of the Ocean necklace. I had it.
And so I remember, so basically how our house was, is that we had our living room.
Yeah.
But then in the kitchen, we had a small TV that had like a VHS player in it.
Okay, yeah.
So my parents would like watch if they were like cooking. So she was like, I will let you watch the Titanic, but there are some scenes that are inappropriate for you. So during those moments, you will have to go away. So I literally sat on like a bar stool hunched over watching the Titanic on a baby TV. And then once that fucking Draw You Like My French Girl scene came on, my mom was like, go away. And I got to come back in. That's the only time I've seen the Titanic.
Isn't that crazy? It's not like he fingered her or anything. She was just naked.
Yeah, but that was inappropriate.
But why? We put so much like stress around like nudity and bodies. And I got to tell you, honey, now ever since I've had this surge, I be naked AF. I was before, but now I'm extra naked AF.
Yeah.
Like for my documentary honoring her, hopefully coming soon. Girl, I let them film it all. Film it all. Not just the surgery and like me changing the faja, but like when I did my first performance, you remember when I like wore the blue outfit and everything? I showed them how to tuck. Yeah, the poor boys filming, I know they were cringing inside. But yeah, I just think we should love our bodies. We should celebrate them. And we build this shame around them. Like, for instance, at this moment where they're like, oh, you can't watch this scene. Like, I get it. It would be different. Like I said, if he was fingering her, there was something like hypersexualized. But it's like, she just lied there naked on a couch and he drew her.
Yeah.
It's like, that's art. I don't understand. Yeah. I'm so glad that my parents let me, because I had friends the same way that weren't allowed to watch certain scenes. And like, they fully let me watch that.
Oh, my parents were, my mom particularly was very crazy on what I watched.
Okay.
And very crazy on what I listened to.
Yeah.
So we didn't have cable until I was like in the 6th grade.
Sure.
So it was just all your regular channels.
Yeah.
And I would get excited for like a PBS kids show or whatever. And then music, I couldn't listen to the radio.
Wow. So strict.
When I was in the 2nd grade, first or 2nd grade, I think it was 2nd grade, went on a field trip, and it was this girl's, Haley Peterson's grandfather drove us, and he was the coolest grandfather in the world. And he put on the radio, and it was like our version of what Kiss FM.
Sure.
And the first song I heard on the radio was Macy Gray's I Try. And I was like, I try to say, and I became obsessed. That was the first CD I bought.
Love it.
Didn't listen to any other song. It was just the same on repeat, on repeat.
Yeah.
And then it became, the next ones was Britney Spears.
Is she a mo?
A mo?
Homo?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought
She's just more artsy fartsy.
Okay. I thought for some reason she was a mo. Also, before I move on, I have to say, going back to that Titanic, I was so obsessed. I saw it 7 times in the movie theater. And on the 7th time when I didn't cry when Jack passed, that's how I knew it was time to stop seeing it in the theater. But like, I was so obsessed that I ended up recreating the movie with my dogs. And do you know what a Polaris is? The thing inside of a pool that cleans. So the Polaris.
I didn't know that's what it was called, but yeah.
So the Polaris was the opening scene. You know how they go down and do that. And then like I literally, and this is so horrible, but I taped a pencil to my dog's paw so that she was trying to get it off and put the paper underneath it so it looked like she was drawing the other dog. Like, and we have this footage. Oh my God. It's hilarious. But yeah, I was obsessed with the Titanic. Obsessed.
No, I think that I saw it that one time, and that I haven't seen it since.
It still stands the test of time.
Does it?
Oh my God, James Cameron. I mean, visionary. Yeah, it's a beautiful film.
Yeah,
beautiful film.
TV and film was very like strict in that way.
Right.
I'm trying to remember like monumental moments. I remember the Spice Girls. Everybody in my school was crazy about the Spice Girls. But for me, I was like, I feel like I understood the height right when they got disbanded.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like everybody's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, ooh, Spice Girls. And then it was like...
I was so lucky that, you know, my sister, who's 9 years older, like really showed me the way of music. So like, I remember she was obsessed with Spice Girls, obviously as a lesbian, makes sense. But she also showed me Missy Elliott, who now, of course, as we all know, is my queen of all queens. So I got really lucky in that way that she was introducing me to really cool people that obviously my mom and dad were not listening to, you know?
I do remember that when My Heart Will Go On was the big radio hit of the time. I remember my parents absolutely hated it and despised it because of how much it was played on the radio.
Gotcha.
And I remember this one time we were in our backyard and like my dad like went off. But no, 90s was, I couldn't watch Rugrats, none of that shit. So when I would go over to somebody's house.
What was wrong with Rugrats?
Because Angelica said stupid.
Ooh, they were strict. Also, another fun story about Titanic, not to brag, but the guy that wrote My Heart Will Go On was a family friend, and I got a signed copy from him, and one year he played it on the piano for us. It was so iconic for me.
That's so cool.
I was obsessed with Titanic. Like literally when I went to, I want to say Belfast in Ireland, they have the Titanic Museum. Girl, I got my life. It was like such a
Was
dream
that like
come
one
true.
of the traveling museums, the Titanic traveling?
No,
ones?
it's like the museum, like where they like docked and whatever. I should know the official facts. It's just been a while. This was like 8 years ago. So forgive me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it's Belfast. It's definitely somewhere in Ireland. And yeah, it was amazing. Amazing. Like I don't know. I was so fascinated with it. And it's also why I've never been on a cruise ship to this day.
You'll never go on one?
No, in fact, I just had a friend offer to pay for it and to take me, and like it's like a sickening like opportunity, and I was like, I have to think about it. Being on
do
open water for
it.
days,
But you port. I went
After days, if we could port every day, I'd be down. But like, you're gonna be on open water for 3 days.
What
that
the fuck
scares
cruise are
me.
you going on?
Well, I don't want to say because I might end up going on it, and I
Okay,
don't want
but,
them
like-
to know I'm nervous because it would be sponsored. But I think that my friend told me the longest we would be in open water was 2 days,
Okay. 'Cause-
where you can't see land.
Yeah. Because Isaac and I went in.
Girl, you know there'd be aliens in the ocean. I'm scared. I'm not trying to go down there.
Isaac and I went in February, and we went.
You did a cruise?
Cruise. My very first one, his very first one. And
I love it. You act like it's so crazy, and you just went on your first one.
but you were acting like it's like crazy.
It is crazy.
But it was one with Queens.
Oh,
So
that sounds even more of a nightmare to me.
no, it wasn't, because it was something fun to do at night. Like it would be
Okay.
like a fun event. So like Jimbo was there, Candy
Oh,
Muse.
because they perform and stuff.
Yeah, so
Cute.
they basically brought me on to host trivia one night.
Oh, fun.
So I hosted trivia.
So it was a gig.
Yeah, it was a good.
Well, then we love it.
I hosted Family Feud, drag
Okay.
style. But Jimbo, Candy Muse, Heidi, and Jessica Wilde.
Oh, nice.
So
okay,
it was
well,
a
good
yeah,
group
it was
of
a good
girls.
group,
Yeah.
and it was totally like, it wasn't a gay cruise. It was just like a one portion was.
A drag queen cruise wasn't a
No,
gay
no, but
cruise.
it wasn't a drag queen cruise. It was
Oh.
like this company basically rented out for like 100 people
Okay.
this drag queen thing. So like literally we would have special events or things that would happen just for us, but it
Sure.
was just that 100 or under people.
Sure.
And then you still had a cruise of thousands of people or whatever.
Wow.
But it was a moment. It was actually really cool.
And where
I
did you
liked-
cruise to?
We went to St. John, St. Martin, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. It was.
Did you love Puerto Rico?
I did.
Gorgeous.
did.
Did you get to see the bioluminescence?
What's that?
It's the water that glows in the dark.
No.
Girl, I mean, they say I went at the wrong time of the year because the moon was out, but like, they like put a blanket down and we were supposed to move our hands in the water so that you could see the like glowing in the water. And
There was a blanket in the water?
no, there was like a blanket over our heads to make it darker because the moon was out. And when you move the water, the movement creates like a underwater glow in the dark effect. It was very mild for me. I was very disappointed, but they say I went to the wrong time, wrong place. So I'm going to try it again, but I've always wanted to go back to Puerto Rico at a different time for that reason. Because
Yeah.
the bioluminescent waters are amazing. You should look up pictures. You would
look it up.
die. It's gorgeous.
No, but I think my favorite place on that cruise with the Dominican Republic, we went to this local place that made the best fucking food. I don't think I've ever had better food. I literally
What
was
kind?
like, just pure Dominican stuff. Like it was like plantains
Oh,
and
I
like
love-
all of like, but the way that they made everything and crafted everything, I
Yeah.
was like, this, I feel like I'm like at home. Like
Mm-hmm.
somebody made this purely for like from scratch. It was so good.
Yeah.
That whole cruise was great. I would say, no, like, I think the longest that we were on the ocean was probably a day and a half.
Okay. See, I think that's more manageable.
It's not bad when there's so many things to do on the ship.
Right.
Like you can lay by the pool, or you can be like, oh, I'm gonna go on. We had a fucking casino in ours. I was
Yeah.
like,
I
we
mean,
had-
the one that my friend wants to take me on is major. There's like water slides and like you can zip line across the boat. And like, I mean, it would be fierce. And like I said, it would be sponsored. So like, I am heavily considering it.
You should.
It freaks me out. I'm a Titanic freak. So I'm just like, is that really what I want to do?
There are just certain things that you should do before you go on.
Like
And we
what?
can chat. You need to make sure that you get the little patches that you put behind your ear.
What's that do?
Just prevents you from getting seasick.
Oh,
And
okay.
literally, it's just like a little sticker.
I don't think I would. I love gentle rocking motion.
Well, I didn't think I would either, but I was just afraid. I was like, what happens if I do? Like,
Right.
what happens if like the boat goes over like craziness randomly? And I'm like, whoa!
Does that happen?
It depends on
Like turbulence in the air? It's like turbulence in the water?
it just depends on like what the time of the year is.
I would freak out. I'd be like, it's the Titanic.
We didn't have anything
Let me
like
find
that.
my partner and just play the
my
violin.
gosh. Okay, so when we were on the boat, Isaac and so it was myself, Isaac, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend. So my brother's girlfriend and Isaac were like laying out by the pool, and my brother and I were like, we're gonna go get some drinks or whatever. So we got some drinks and we went back to my room, and we were like, okay, like what are we gonna do next? And as we were walking back to my room, this lady pops out of her room and she starts screaming. And she's like, he's dead! He's dead! Oh, help, somebody call. And I was like, is this a joke? Like, what's happening?
Right.
And nobody else is like doing anything. And some people like pop out of the rooms, and I literally call 911, go to figure out.
You call 911 on a boat?
Well, not 911, like whatever.
I was like, girl, what are they gonna do? You're out in the middle of the
services, whatever it is. So I guess that her dad ended up like getting extremely sick and passing out or something, and they thought he was dead. And then I was thinking the whole time, I was like, what would you do with a dead body on a cruise ship?
Ooh, I mean, here's another reason why I don't like cruise ships. I love that this is supposed to be the 90s episode,
Well,
but
hey,
here we
we're
go.
talking about whatever we want.
Tangent on this.
Hey.
Like, remember when Corona went down and like the princess? Did you watch that documentary about how they got trapped on the boat?
I didn't watch the documentary, but I watched it on the news.
Oh, you should watch the documentary, girl. It'll make you not want to go on a cruise. That shit was crazy to me. And now there's this new show with Joshua Jackson called like Dr. Odyssey. Have you not seen the preview for it?
Yeah.
I tried to get into her because I love Joshua Jackson. That's Daddy from what was it called back in the day? A Mighty Duck. You remember the game where they played sports, Mighty Duck?
The hockey one?
That's Joshua Jackson. He's all grown up now. But yeah, Dr. Odyssey. It's like about
Dawson's Creek guy.
He was on Dawson's Creek too? Okay. So cute. He also did Dr. Death recently for Peacock and was amazing on that too. He's turned into such a hottie. But I tried to get into it because it's like about the nursing staff on a boat and what they go through. Like if someone was to die and all of that. But it was just too like made for TV for me. It was cheese. Yeah.
Well, boats, Titanic. Was there any 90s nostalgia food or candy that you miss?
Oh, I know. Remember those the paper with the dots?
Yes.
I loved those. Candy necklaces. Loved those for sure. Warheads, I believe, came out in the 90s,
Yes.
which I'm obsessed with still to this day. In fact, they just started making taffy. It's so good. I literally ate it last night. I don't
Warhead
remember
taffy?
it. I don't remember it. I woke up this morning and saw the bag had been eaten.
Oh, and you're like, I ate it.
I'm like, good for me. But yeah, and then of course my other like favorite 90s nostalgic moment is Beanie Babies. I was obsessed.
We had a lady that lived across the street, and she sold Beanie Babies out of her house.
Smart.
And so we would run across the street after school, see if she had anything new, and she would have them in those little like glass type boxes.
Absolutely, I had those too.
You would have to figure out, oh
the
my
tag
gosh.
preservers.
Yes.
Yeah.
When McDonald's did the collaboration.
Collected them all.
Oh my goodness.
I was obsessed.
So when we would go to McDonald's to try to get the special ones, like
Yeah.
in the little boxes, they didn't have them all
Sure.
because like they would go popular. So
Sold like hotcakes.
yeah. So I had a swim meet in the middle of bumfuck Missouri, and there was a McDonald's, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to be the moment? And I walked in, they had every single one. I was like, mine! It was the most exciting thing.
Yeah, it's just so crazy when I think about that because we really did believe at the time like those were going to be valuable one day, you know? And then of course it crashed, which is so sad. I don't know if you saw that movie.
I didn't watch it.
It was
Did
so
you?
cute on Apple TV. Yeah, I loved it. And it's like, the unauthorized story. And what I found interesting about that is like, it was all, of course, a woman behind Ty. But yeah, like I just, I love them so much. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but in my iconic stand-up, I said whether I was busy organizing my wait, what was the line? I said
Alphabetically organizing?
yeah, I said something about whether I was alphabetically organizing my Beanie Babies or I forget the line. But yeah, I love Beanie Babies. It's such a thing for me. And actually in my documentary, we're doing a sort of homage to me as a child as part of the metaphor in the story. So we're working on getting a child actor who looks like me to portray me and to play with Beanie Babies in my actual front yard that I grew up in. So that's part of the thing we're looking to film when I go to Texas.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I really hope so. So I got to get up in the attic when I see my mom and dad and bring down some Beanie Babies. They didn't keep them all, of course, because once they realized it was not worth it. But like, I know we have the Princess Diana one, which was the purple one with the right rose. I know we have the tie-dye one with the peace sign. I'll never forget. My parents would use it as a bartering system. So if I did good in school, I'd get a Beanie Baby. So in order to get the tie-dye Beanie Baby with the peace sign, I had to learn my times table. Like 1 times 2, well, that's easy, but 2 times 4, 2 times 8. You know, like I had to learn the times table. And I remember when I finally learned it and got that Beanie Baby, it was so special. And then my other favorite Beanie Baby story is before my grandmother passed, she gave me the elephant, which I still have to this day too. So yeah, I love Beanie Babies.
Was that the blue one?
It's kind of like a soft blue gray. Yeah. So yeah, just such great memories. I loved the 90s. I think it was such a special time. I mean, it's my childhood, you know?
Yeah.
So I have great nostalgia and I love to see it coming back in culture now.
I'm the same way. I'm trying to remember like what toys or what things that Beanie Babies were a thing. I feel like the issue that my childhood had is that I feel like I was a delayed response.
Okay.
So the things that I would like would be popular 6 months to a year before.
Okay.
And because my mom would hold it back, she would like wait for it to be approvable until I could like get into it.
Did you ever have that bop it, twist it, turn it?
I didn't have it until I won it on a radio show.
Really?
I became obsessed with Radio Disney.
Okay, I remember it.
So like the kids version of radio.
Yeah.
And I asked my parents for a phone. And they got me this phone, and for some reason it had, like when you hit redial, it would redial in 2 seconds. It was the fastest thing ever. So I would call this radio station every single morning. I won $1,000 for doing the code word of the day. I won another 500. I won so much fucking money or things on that. And then when I got like probably like 10, 11, I would call it, and it sounds so funny, I would do updates on Disney shows.
Okay.
So I would be like, my name's Joseph and it's time for an update on your favorite. And they would like put me on the radio. And I was like, I'm getting into the hosting already back then. I was like telling kids about like what you should watch.
Hostess from day one. I love that.
And I think my other favorite 90s memory, of course, was when Britney Spears was extremely popular. The height of everything.
Absolutely.
I went into my local, I guess you would call them Vons here, a Kroger back home.
Sure.
And there was a Britney Spears cardboard cutout. And she had a box in front of her. And you would enter to win like tickets to her show or whatever. And they had like little pieces of paper. I took the whole pad and I wrote my name on every single one of them. And I put it in there and I didn't win. And I just hurt me feeling so bad.
Dang, you didn't win?
I cheated the system. I tried really hard.
I'm proud to say that I have seen every single Britney Spears tour there've ever been. Even when she canceled Onyx in Dallas, I flew somewhere else to see it. Yeah, I've seen every single one.
What was the best one you saw?
A Dream Within a Dream. The very first one. The very first one. It was the best. I was in the nosebleed screaming my head off. But
oh my God.
Oh, God, there's no one like her.
That was
no one like her.
I watched that VHS so many times.
It's an iconic show.
So
Brian
good.
Friedman, who I'm now friends with, which is crazy. Yeah, choreographed.
We need more shows like that now.
Or was it Wade Robinson? I think Wade might have done Dream Within a Dream. Not for sure, but both of them. Love them. And love Britney. And love the 90s.
Well, on that note, I'm Joseph Shepard.
I'm Laganja Estranja.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Queening Out. Make sure to send us an email at laganjoes, LAGANJOES @gmail.com.
And we'll see you next week for another episode. Love you guys.